Hello guys and gals, Buffalo here. I've got the Henry Big Boy Steel 327 Federal Magnum back out again today. In the video I did on this gun before this one, we stuck with 327 Magnum loads and we used the Federal 100 grain soft points. Really good ammunition. It was really consistent over the chronograph for us. Shot it really well and it hits hard. The thing about the 327 Federal Magnum, it's marked on the barrel 327 Fed Mag or 32 H&R Mag. So we can definitely shoot those two out of it. And that's what I'm going to start off with today is some 32 H&R Mag. If I can get this box open. Let's take a close-up look at these. All right, so these are the 32 H&R Magnum loads that I picked up. It's just a 90 grain lead flat point. It's not the most powerful representation of 32 H&R Magnum, but the difference kind of reminds me of looking at a 357 Magnum and a 38 Special. You can kind of think of it in that manner. So let's load some of these up and see how they cycle. All right, so let's load it up here. Now this lever action doesn't like to be loaded with the action open like my 22 Henry rifles. So we have to load it with the action closed, hammer down. So you can see, always check, make sure you don't have one in the chamber, hammer down. And the reason for that, we're working around the muzzle end here. So we want to make sure we're clear. Go ahead. Drop these rounds in the magazine tube. All right, got 9 rounds in there. It looks like you might be able to squeeze 10 in, but 9 brings it right to the bottom of the loading port. So, let's see how it cycles. Very, you know, the 327 Federal Magnum doesn't have much recoil at all, and this is even less, as you would imagine. All right, so cycles the 32 H&R Magnums just fine. I may go back and do some accuracy work with these other loads and shoot them over the chronograph and that sort of thing. But I've got several different types of ammo that I want to get through today. So to keep the video short, we're just going to move right on and take a look at something else for you. So I also picked up some 32 Smith & Wesson long. Now, we're getting outside of what the rifle was designed for. So whether it cycles this stuff or not, Henry doesn't tell us to shoot this through it. This is just something I'm doing. So we're going to try shooting these. As you can see, this long is even shorter than the H&R Magnum. And over here we've still got our Federal 327 Federal Magnum here. But we're progressively getting shorter. 32 Smith & Wesson long. This is a 97 grain full metal jacket by Fiocchi. Let's load some of these up and see if they'll cycle. All right, so I dropped 10 in it, and I can see the bullet just sticking up into the loading port in the magazine tube. So I think 10 will be just fine. Let's see if they'll cycle. Cycled just fine. Of course, can't say that every single one of these will cycle every single brand of 32 Smith & Wesson longs. Again, you know, it's not marked for the 32 Smith & Wesson long, just something I wanted to try out. So, I've also got some more stuff here. Let's keep moving. Okay, I've got some 32 Smith & Wesson, also known as 32 short. You can see I've got one set up here beside the 32 long, the 32 H&R Magnum, and the 327 Federal Magnum. You can see how small that one is. And I don't look for this carbine to actually cycle these. I'd be amazed if it did. It's just too far outside the range of what the lever action was designed to cycle. But if nothing else, we can load some single shot, you know, one at a time and shoot them. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to try to drop a few of these in the magazine tube. But again, I don't think we're going to have any luck cycling these. I'd be amazed if it will. I'm going to drop about 5 in here. The magazine tube doesn't even want to go in. There it went. Don't think that's going to work out. That is really quiet. But it's definitely not gonna cycle them. They're just too short, which I kind of thought that. I'm gonna clear this. Clear this mess out of there. Let's cycle some single shot. Because it certainly doesn't hurt anything to do that. Just drop them in the chamber. Something that might come in handy in a pinch, or just, you know, even out plinking, just shooting one at a time. Doesn't hurt anything. So it will shoot them, and shoot them just fine. Just not going to cycle them. Doesn't want to eject them either. Pretty neat little round though. Alright, so I've got one more to try. This is 32 Auto. Now this is a little bit of a different case. The rim is smaller and thinner. So we're likely not going to be able to extract with the extractor. It's probably not going to be able to get a hold of that smaller rim. And also the thinness, you know, it's thinner than the rims on these other cartridges, is going to cause the primer to set farther away from the firing pin. I don't know if we'll be able to fire them. Probably going to result in some light primer strikes, if nothing else. But we'll give it a shot and see. We may have to take something and knock them out of the chamber, because I don't think it's going to be able to extract them once it's been fired. And like I say, it may not even fire them. Who knows? I haven't tried this yet, so let's give it a shot. Okay, so honest to goodness, this is the first time I've tried this. I picked this box up just because some viewers recommended it. Don't have high hopes for it. We're going to drop 5 in the tube just like we did with the shorts. Whoa. I don't think it'll cycle. Could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I mean, it was just one time, but it does happen. Nope. I can already tell. So I'm not going to bother with that. It's definitely not going to cycle them. let's see if we can shoot them one at a time like we did with the 32 Smith & Wesson. Drop one in. Hey, it fired. And it came out of the chamber. It didn't eject it, but it extracted it. Let's try another. I'm actually hitting the targets too. And again, it didn't eject it. Got it jammed back in behind. So these are not really worth the effort. There it went. Not really worth the effort, I don't think, unless, you know, hey, if it's a survival situation and you've got a 327 Federal Magnum Henry and you find a box of 32 auto, wouldn't be a bad idea to throw them in your backpack just in case. But under normal circumstances, I don't really see a benefit. Oh, and there's a, I thought that might happen. Barely touched the primer. Let's try it again. It does shoot them. Just, like I say, just not worth the hassle, I don't think. Try something here. I think if I drop that all the way in the chamber, the firing pin doesn't quite reach. And that one didn't even leave a mark. The firing pin doesn't quite reach the primer. But if I drop it and just start it in and let the bolt pick it up and push it in, seems like it shoots. So I think it'll shoot this time. I think so. That may be all there is to that. So just start it in the chamber. It's not all the way in the chamber, it's just started. Bring the bolt up. Let the extractor catch on the rim and close it in, and it should fire. Ha! Pretty cool. All right, so that's all we're going to do with that. Again, it's not ideal, obviously, but something that could be utilized in a pinch. I don't know. Just a quick recap of the ammo we looked at today. Now, we didn't shoot any of the 327 Federal Magnum. That's this one right here. It's a 100 grain jacketed soft point. Since we shot it in the last video, we just got it out here for comparison today. We didn't actually shoot it, but we did shoot these others. This is Black Hills Ammunition, 32 H&R, 90 grain flat point lead. This is Fiocchi, 32 Smith & Wesson long, 97 grain full metal jacket. This is Magtech 32 Smith & Wesson, aka 32 short, and it is an 85 grain lead round nose. And then we've got our 32 Auto, which is a 60 grain jacketed hollow point. It's actually a gold dot bullet. So, just in case I forgot to mention bullet weights or whatever earlier in the video, I just wanted to recap and show you guys the ammo one more time. Okay, so I've got a couple of cans of Ballistic pop set up out here. And I'm going to do this for each of the rounds that we talked about today. We're going to start out with the 327 Federal Magnum. I'm going to shoot both cans, and then we'll go through the ammo in the same order that I shot it today and just see their effect on a can of pop. that 327 Federal Magnum pretty much evaporates them. Okay, so up next we've got the 32 H&R flat point. Let's keep moving along. 32 Smith & Wesson long, full metal jacket. .32 Smith & Wesson. Remember, it won't cycle these, so I've got to load them one at a time. And now 32 auto. Remember, once again, I have to load these one at a time, and I want to carefully load them, and that way it shouldn't give me a light primer strike. Let's find out. Try that one more time. Trying to be careful. My loading technique. I had a lot of fun with today's video. I actually learned some things. The 32 auto done better in this carbine than I thought it would. Yes, it done pretty poor with the light primer strikes and things, but the empty shell casing fell behind the bolt there once, and it was kind of hard to get out. But I didn't expect it to do that well. I didn't know if we'd be able to fire any of them, and if they did fire, I didn't know if we could extract them. I didn't have high hopes for it. The other cartridges done kind of as I would have expected. The 32 longs cycle great in this particular carbine. Doesn't mean they'll cycle great in yours. After all, it's not marked for the 32 long. It's only marked for the 327 Federal Magnum and the 32 H&R Magnum. So anything shorter than that, and you know, it's not meant to cycle those. We got lucky and it did cycle the longs. I'll probably end up shooting some of those. It's a lot of fun to plink with. Gives you a quieter alternative to the 327 Federal Magnum, which while it has no hardly any recoil, the 327 Fed Mag does have quite a muzzle blast and it's really loud. So those 32 longs and the 32 H&R and even the 32 shorts, if you feed them one at a time, do give you options. 32 auto, I would stay away from it unless it was just an absolute pinch. I would hate to depend on one of those to go off when I really needed it. And I do want to say that there's times when it's safe to shoot cartridges that the gun's not designed for, like what we did today, like shooting 38 in a 357 Magnum, that sort of thing. But there's also times when it's a big no-no. So I don't want you to take this video as a okay to shoot rounds that your gun's not marked for. That can get you hurt real bad. There's some cases where you can fit a much more powerful round in a firearm that was not designed to handle that kind of pressure. And there's even cases like the old 4570s. You don't want to shoot a modern hot loaded 4570 load in an old 4570. It can cause problems. So even if it is chambered for the right thing, if the gun's older, you got to watch that sort of thing. So I did just want to mention that. And I also want to thank my patrons. They bought that ammo that I shot today, so thank you guys. I appreciate that. I also thank my subscribers, all my viewers. You guys are just awesome. Keep the comments coming, keep those thumbs ups coming. It does help the channel and I really appreciate it. But that's all I got today, and I'll talk with y'all again soon.